This is the 3 p.m. Takeover, Radio Northern Beach's only drive-home show.
Keep it right here for a whole hour of fresh hits and entertainment for your Wednesday afternoon.
Here we go.
Hit it. Welcome to the 3 p.m. Takeover. It is Wednesday afternoon, and it's lovely to have you with us on the show. You're listening to Radio Northern Beaches. Hi, Victoria.
Oh, hey guys. Hi, Hope.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so excited to be back. I've been on holiday.
Jet-setting Hope.
I know, but I'm back now.
Gallivanting around the world / Asia.
Gallivanting just in Asia, which is like kind of why I played that last song. Also, I love Coldplay, so
it was a double-pronged reason.
It was.
Is that the saying? Double-pronged? Anyway, that's not a thing.
Two-pronged?
I don't know. Something about prongs.
Double-forked? I don't know.
That's not a thing.
I was thinking of a pitchfork, and then I was like, that has 3 points. I don't know. I'm confused.
I thought a pitchfork had 4.
No,
a trident has 3, and I thought a pitchfork had 4.
A trident?
Because a pitchfork and a fork have the word fork in it, and fork has 4 prongs on it.
Oh,
and
is that how it works?
A trident has 3.
As in Poseidon?
Yeah, but also like try.
Yeah. No, I was thinking of who has...
As in try for
I was thinking of who had a trident.
Poseidon.
No one accepts Poseidon.
Poseidon's trident is actually really hard to say. Poseidon's trident.
There is also a trident on the flag of Barbados, which I learnt when I was on holiday.
Oh.
Not that I was in Barbados, but anyway.
Oh, yeah, because you messaged me because you did very well at the Flags of the World quiz that you did overseas.
I did, and I guessed the Barbados one.
Oh, well done.
But it was right. So I'm going to talk a little bit later in the show.
Speaking of Barbados, we just had Rihanna in that song.
We did.
She's from Barbados.
It all works out.
It all comes back.
And we're going to talk about my travels a little bit later on. And I was in Singapore and Malaysia and China and Japan. So because of that, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and we're going to ascertain where you should go on holiday in Asia, because it's been a while since you hit up Asia. Could be time for you to go again.
Yeah.
So,
but I got to pick the right place.
You do.
And
this foolproof quiz from somewhere random on the internet. Okay. So, do you travel mainly for business or pleasure?
Pleasure.
Okay.
I hate the word pleasure.
Yeah, it's a bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel like it has like really like its connotations are other. So if you're like business or pleasure, you're like, oh, just here on holiday.
How much effort do you put into learning the local language before you arrive? I thought everyone spoke English. Or a little, I'll be okay as long as they speak a bit of English. Or languages are my passion.
A little bit. I try and learn a couple phrases.
Yeah, at least you should master hello and goodbye.
I think you should always know how to say hello, goodbye, yes, no, thank you.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Do you speak English? I know how to say that in a couple of languages. Because I think I think if you at least ask them in their language,
they'll be more
inclined to help you. It's like a nod to them
you.
That you're like, I've tried, but I don't actually speak your language. They're like, oh, yes, okay.
I've tried, help me now.
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of food sounds the tastiest? Fresh fish, soup and a sandwich, I'm not picky, spicy food, a whole roasted pig, or my favourite dish changes every week.
Oh, the soup sounds good. That's like the most white person answer I could have picked, isn't it?
Soup is safe, but probably not in Asia.
True.
You never know what you're going to have.
Soup and a sandwich? I don't know. Okay, what's more fun, a big bustling city or the countryside? Grass and trees are overrated, or I love the city but I need to escape from time to time, or I'd rather spend my time exploring the countryside. I like the city but I need to escape from time to time.
Very true. We are from a big city. Mm-hmm. Okay, would you ever consider visiting a country with a different type of government than your own? Of course, maybe, or let's just not and say we did.
Maybe. It would very much depend on the government system.
Yeah, well, it's true. Well, I just came back from China and that was very, very different.
Yeah, I've been to China and that's obviously not the same as us. So.
This is my first time in China since like social media became a thing, and obviously you can't use it there, which is really weird.
Yeah, that must be really strange.
It is strange.
To suddenly not be able to use it.
It was. Oh. Okay, how would you prefer to explore a new country? On the back of an elephant, on a motorcycle, from the window of a high-speed train, from the top of the tallest building, on the ground in crowded streets, or island hopping by boat?
Oh my goodness. Train sounds kind of fun.
Train's always good.
High-speed train would be fun.
Safe, get through it all quickly, done. Do you need the internet to survive on your trip? If I can't upload pictures on my trip 24/7, it's like I'm not even there. I need to be able to look up restaurants or message family every now and again, or I'm good.
The second one, but not for like restaurants and stuff. I use it for like maps and stuff as well.
Yes.
When I was in Chicago and stuff, I learnt which big stores had free Wi-Fi just so I could like check my maps.
That's a good thing is nearly everywhere has free Wi-Fi now. Yeah. Okay, second last question. Getting a travel visa can be a hassle. How long do you plan on staying? I want to hang around for a few months, maybe longer. A month tops, or I don't want to deal with that, in and out.
A month tops. Visas are usually 30 days, so.
This is true. Okay.
Usually can't afford more than a month anyway.
Yeah. Last question. How much money do you plan on spending? I'm on a budget. Hostels and street food for me. Sky's the limit, or I've got a decent budget, but I like having options.
Decent budget with options.
Okay.
I don't want to stay in hostels.
Yeah, hostels can be.
I'd rather save a little more and stay in like a hotel, even if it's like a kind of crappy hotel. Actually, I usually just go wherever I know I have family there and I'll stay with them.
True.
I'm like the cheaper than cheap option. I'm like, whose couch can I crash on?
Well, look, it's calculating your results, and after this song, we are going to find out. So
Woo.
Please enjoy a little bit of U2, and we are going to be right back.
Welcome back. This is the 3 p.m. takeover. That was Sleep Like a Baby Tonight by U2. That's from their newest album.
Yes.
I'm so on top of it. They have like a million albums. I can't keep track.
I like U2. I have seen them in concert.
Oh.
In Auckland, in fact.
How very random, but very cool.
It was just on, and I was there, and I was like, why not? Why not?
Oh my God, as if someone just goes, why not, and goes to see a U2 concert.
It was
like,
quite cheap,
like...
considering they're really famous. It was one of those things. But anyway, moving on from that, we were talking about me being on holiday just before this, and Victoria did a little quiz to see where she needs to visit in Asia, because like me, it had been about a decade since you've been to Asia. And the quiz tells me that you should go to Thailand.
I'm quite surprised by that answer because, they didn't have a question about weather, and Thailand's kind of always warm or hot, and I don't like the heat. I would choose to go somewhere a bit colder, so I'm actually quite surprised by that. But like, hey,
have you been to Thailand?
I've been in the airport. We had to stop over there for an hour, and I looked out and I could see Thailand, but that's about it.
Well, the quiz knows.
Yeah.
If you've not been there, then the quiz rules.
I mean, there's plenty of places in Asia I haven't been to, so it's not like they've magically picked the only one I haven't been to.
True, but it was good that it just didn't pick a city you've like been to already.
True. Yeah, that's true. Maybe I'll have to go. Anyway.
It's true. A little bit closer to home, Vivid just wrapped up, but there's a campaign underway to bring it to the Northern Beaches next year.
Oh.
Which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, it'd be good in like Manly because people could like catch the ferry between Circular Quay and Manly.
Well, that's what people are talking about. So the state MP of Manly has got the backing of the council, and they want to fund the project with help from Manly Chamber of Commerce and get it to come to Manly. Because, of course, Manly is such a famous place. You can light up Manly Wharf, the Manly to Shelley Walk, and they're talking about using...
along Manly to Shelley, because they already have lots of sculptures there along that walk. So it'd be kind of cool to add some light installations.
And they're thinking of using St. Patrick's Seminary, the really nice building that's now ICMS.
Yes.
Which would look so cool.
The castle on the hill.
Yeah. And incorporating the quarantine station for like a bit of creepy ghost meets vivid light stuff.
See, they would have like projections of ghosts and stuff, and I'm not into that.
Why is it every time the Northern Beaches gets brought into things, it's always like, by the way, there are ghosts there on the roads in Manly? Like,
there was an article like a week or so ago about which we actually talked about like literally years ago. Kelly, the Wakehurst Parkway ghost.
And people bring that up every year as though no one's ever heard of it, right?
Well, someone brought it up. It's like there's a Manly Daily article, and now like suddenly all these people are like coming out of the woodwork with all their like encounters of her.
Yeah,
and they keep posting them. And I'm like, I don't want to read these. I drive that road every other day. But it's so weird. It's like the Narrabeen end of Wakehurst Parkway. It's not the Manly end, and I always take the Manly end. So
yeah,
goodness.
it's the French's Forest through Oxford Falls to Narrabeen part.
Yeah,
which is weird because I've got to say,
I'm so glad I didn't know that about Kelly and all that when I went to school, because that's the way I took to school.
Oh, no, I always knew about that.
I didn't. I'm so glad because I would, we'd have things at night there, or I'd say you're staying back for class in year 12. So, like, I'm glad I actually didn't know about it back then because I would have been so freaked out by it.
Ghosts, things like that don't scare me, but it's interesting because driving in the dark, I find the French's Forest to Narrabeen half much less scary than the French's Forest to Manly half. I feel like the half to Manly is less lit.
Oh, yeah. It's like pitch black.
Yeah, whereas at least the one, I feel like the one through Oxford Falls Narrabeen has a bit of light. And you're near the water and stuff.
Oh yeah, like I've always found the Manly end quite creepy. That's why I'm saying I'm glad I didn't know about the ghost stories on top of like the creepiness that
the
that it is already.
natural creepiness of that area.
Yeah, very much so. Anyway, we diverted way away from Vivid.
We did, but
Look, basically the council said if Chatswood can do it, so can we.
Ooh.
So competition. Chatswood do it pretty well. I used to work in Chatswood and I've seen for myself that they do an amazing job there. So I don't know, I'm in favour. Like, it's going to bring a lot of hassle to people that live that way. Like, that's you. You're right in that area.
But like, why not?
Yeah.
Manly handles
fun.
like jazz festivals and food and wine festivals. And with Vivid this year, they extended it from the Rocks and the Quay out around to like the Royal Botanic Gardens. So, which I went and saw. It was quite nice. Like, I don't see why they, like, it would be nice to have it over in Manly. Like, I'm for it.
Well, I agree. So you let us know, get in touch and tell us whether you think Vivid should be on the Northern Beaches. Chasing Cars Snow Patrol. This is 3 p.m. takeover on Radio Northern Beaches with Hope and Victoria. Hope you enjoyed that song. It's a little,
such a flashback song.
A little bit of a flashback. Probably like, I'm going to say 10 years.
No.
Probably.
It's such a good song though.
It is. Very,
Like,
very good.
As soon as I start hearing like the down, down, I'm always like, oh, Chasing Cars.
What happened to Snow Patrol?
I think they disbanded. Is that the correct term? To unband. To be banned no more. I think they, separated and all that.
Oh, they're Australian, aren't they?
They like, maybe. No, I think they're American, actually. They kind of have American accents when they sing. Not that that's any indication, but...
Isn't it fascinating how people don't have an accent when they sing?
But some people do.
No, but on the whole.
Yeah, generally they don't, yeah.
It's
very weird.
amazing. It's just, it weirds me out. We're going to have to find out the science behind that on one of our shows soon.
Which you can
'Cause that's
tell
crazy.
through like Eurovision, because often they'll say what country they're from. And they sing normally, and then like they'll say thank you, and then you hear their accent.
Yeah,
and then you're like, oh, that's right, you have an accent. It's so weird.
But anyway, we digress.
Yeah. But I guess we can kind of link it to Eurovision because Russia competes in Eurovision. And I came across the greatest story the other week. So if you guys remember, I think it must have been a year and a half ago now when we talked about the Sydney Maritime Museum hired a dog to chase away the seagulls. Remember that story?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, it was ages ago now.
Yeah.
And it was a great story about like animals being like employed. Employed's a weird word because they don't really get like paid, but anyway.
Well, it's like police dogs. They're employed.
Yeah. I love animals like that have jobs.
When they wear little uniforms.
Oh, the little vests.
The little like police, not lanyard. What's like the leash, but it's like a full body leash.
Harness?
That one.
Yeah.
The little like police stripy harness.
And it says police
and it's
dog.
like they're at work.
Anyway, so I've come across another great story of, I feel like this should have been like a more reoccurring thing. I should be hunting these stories out.
Yeah.
So over in Russia, the St. Petersburg Heritage Museum has some amazing artworks. Like they have Da Vinci's and Greek things, Egyptian parchments, heaps of amazing old like paintings, all these like treasures, like really amazing collection of works. And they, for lack of a better word, they employ about 70 cats that roam around in the catacomb basements where a lot of them are stored.
Like security cats?
Well, their goal is to catch and kill mice because the mice chew on the glue in the artwork and eat away at them.
Yeah.
And apparently they're actually really lazy cats. Well, they're all former street cats, and about 15 years ago, the employees decided they kept finding them sheltering near like the heating systems in the cold weather, and they started like bringing leftovers from the canteen down and to feed them and take care of them. And they started like a collection fund for them. And now they sort of have free reign over, like they're not allowed inside the galleries, but the catacombs and the outdoor areas. And apparently their bodies and their scent acts as a deterrent to mice and rats. So even if they don't like actually catch and kill many mice or rats, like they naturally deter them.
Yeah.
For the last 15 years, they've seen like a reduction of rat corpses, but also a reduction of like artwork damage.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool idea. And I wish that like,
it's great when you can utilize animals for things like that.
Yeah. And it's such a clever thing. Like they need to live anyway, and they're all former street cats. But they have a cat infirmary now, and they have 3 full-time volunteers that take care of them. That's like feeding and checking like water, and they have like because there's 70 of them, like they'll all go through like a round robin.
70 cats.
Yeah, checking with the vet.
Wow.
Yeah, 70. And that ranges from kittens up to like quite old cats.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and apparently they had like last year they had their first cat fest where they like people came and people came and visited just to see the cats. And apparently
Da Vinci who?
Yeah, exactly. And apparently it was a huge hit, which is really cool.
But what's even more interesting is that location. It's not the first time that like it's an old palace that palace has actually been overrun by cats. In 1745, they had a huge like mice and rat problem. So the empress at the time issued a decree for the biggest and most capable cats to be sent there. And they like their job was to like catch all the mice in the area. So it's like it's actually not the first time that area has like utilized cats for that reason.
That's really interesting. Cats are not usually an animal you hear of being used for things like that. So that is really, really cool.
Well, yeah, because I guess they can't really be trained, can they?
Yeah.
Like it makes more sense with dogs because you can kind of train them to do a job. Whilst cats, I guess, a little bit more like, no, I'm not going to do that.
When they're kittens, they're really easy. It's when they get older and then you'll call them to do something and they'll give you a look and they'll just like walk away. They just don't care about obeying you. It's really quite funny. But I have a cat story from when I was away as well.
Okay.
So when I was looking around some temples in Japan, I came across a group of cats that were sleeping together and there were about 15 of them sleeping in like a little ball together, and they were the most beautifully groomed domestic looking cats. And it turns out that they weren't domestic, but they all just live in the temple area. Like they don't go very far. They just wander around in the temples, but they're like, in this situation, they're completely looked after by volunteers and all the people that come to pray look after them. But they look like so domestic, like sleek fur, like beautiful, really well behaved, really like quiet. But yeah, and I found them all sleeping in a ball together.
Oh,
it was so cute.
I think I saw that photo on Instagram that you posted.
And they're all clean as well. Like they get washed regularly and stuff.
Oh,
so
wow.
Flea check and that kind of thing. But
I love the story of, I think the dog's name was Bailey that chased away seagulls.
Yeah.
And it had to wear a life jacket all the time because it used to get like over enthusiastic and like jump in the water by accident.
It's still not nearly as good as the story about the parrot that got to be in court because it was a talking parrot and someone had got murdered in a house.
And it was a witness?
And the parrot came to testify because no one was home, but they were like, hang on, the parrot was home and the parrot speaks. And the parrot came to
could
testify.
like identify people and stuff. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
It could like give descriptions and stuff.
That's difficult though because parrots...
How strongly do you take the word of parrot?
Well, they will literally parrot what you teach them. So they'll kind of only say things that you teach them to repeat over and over. So that's difficult because if anyone's interfered with that parrot, you'd have to take it with a huge grain of salt.
But anyway, moving away from that, keep listening to the show. We are about halfway through. Coming up straight after this, we're going to talk a little bit more about my travels. So if you want to hear cool stories like 15 cats that live together in a big ball, then you're going to want to keep listening because it's going to be pretty cool.
You don't want to miss it, guys.
Victoria, what music do we have coming up?
We have shockingly a song that's very Oriental based. I wonder if you picked this one.
Maybe I just went to Asia. Guys, did you hear?
In case you haven't mentioned it enough times today, we're going to have lots of stories after this, guys. This is Dreams of a Samurai by Red Hot Chili Peppers, and after that, we're going to hear Clarity by Zed. Welcome back. This is the 3 p.m. Takeover. You are with Hope and Victoria on a lovely Wednesday afternoon. We hope your first half of the week has been lovely and excellent, and I think we're starting everyone off for like a great second half of the week. You're welcome, guys.
I always forget that Wednesday is like the middle.
Really? It's hump day.
It is. And since we're in the afternoon, we're like actually the second half of the week.
Yeah. So everyone's in like a really good mood because like, yes, hello weekend.
Yeah, the moment it passes lunchtime on Wednesday, I'm like,
I can almost taste the weekend.
I read the funniest thing the other day, and I reckon you will totally agree with this.
Okay.
When you are working in your office and you bump into people that like you know, but you never would talk to them about much because you don't know anything about them, if it's like Monday or Tuesday, they always ask you, how was your weekend?
Yes.
And if it's Wednesday, Thursday or Friday, they always ask you, what are you doing on the weekend?
Yep.
It's like the classic office conversation, like if you don't know someone that well.
What I always get on Fridays, I always get emails that start with like, hi Victoria, happy Friday. Like I always get emails that start with happy Friday, only on Friday, obviously.
People that email me are too businessy. I occasionally get like, have a nice weekend at the end of the email.
Oh, really?
I don't often get happy Friday.
I receive and I send lots of, hi so-and-so, hope you had a great weekend.
I always send that on Monday as well.
Start into my, what I'm actually emailing you about.
Yeah.
And then same with weekend, you like on Thursday, Friday, it's always like, hope you have a great weekend. Bye.
I do that too. But it's like when you email someone, you're like, hi, such a body, hope you're well. And you're like, actually I don't, but I need to just say something before I get into what I need to actually say in my email. So cringy.
But you haven't been in the office the last week and a bit because you've been gallivanting around the Orientals.
I have. I took 9 days of annual leave, but
I cleverly worked it with weekends and stuff. And so
Oh,
I've been
good.
overseas for 2 weeks.
Woohoo!
So exciting.
That's pretty good.
But I'm back in the office now.
Back to the grind.
Yep.
But
Back to the 9 to 5.
But are you going to fill us in on some treats from your travels?
I am. So, of the places that I've been, you've been to all those countries except Malaysia, yeah?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, I'm going to start with Singapore. Hands down, I love that city. I always
really?
have done, and I always will do. It's just such a good city.
I have very fond memories of Singapore, so.
This was my first time in Singapore as an adult, and everything in Singapore is just rooftop bars, and they are beautiful, and they all look over the whole city.
So I had a great time, but how old was I? I was 15 when I went. So I wasn't going clubbing. But I went with a friend, and so we were sort of, one of her parents lived there. So we went shopping every day and to the beach, or like went to the Royal Botanic Gardens and walked around.
They're so nice.
Yeah, and they have so many malls as well. So whenever it got too hot, we would just like find a mall because they're so air conditioned.
And they're so huge.
Huge. It was great.
Singapore is just such a good country. I love it. I love that it's sort of, being near the water, it has that, I feel like places near the water have a relaxed vibe.
Yeah.
That countries not near the water don't have.
Yeah. Would you like to know a fun fact about Singapore?
I would.
So you may have noticed how wide their like main highway is next to the water. It's kind of near the airport. Mm-hmm. And there's like those weird like white structures that act like medium strips with all the potted plants in them.
Yes.
Did you see those?
I know the ones.
A fun fact, if something happens to the airport, they can move those potted plants and that highway is wide enough for a plane to land.
Oh, that's clever.
It's their backup runway. Yep.
And if they don't have time to move the pot plants, I
We can
guess
squash
like
'em.
it's just pot plants, right?
Collateral damage. Yeah, that's my fun fact about Singapore.
That's really cool.
Because it's such a small island that like they don't have like other, like if it was something like Australia, they'd be like, oh, fine, like I don't know, a paddock or something, like go further up north or
Yeah, alone in the grass or something.
yeah, but they're so small they don't have like it's all quite built up.
there's no room for that. Yeah.
Yeah, so their highways like are such a clever design that it backs up as that.
What I love about Singapore though is even though it is really small and it is therefore really crowded for its density, it doesn't feel crowded because everybody lives in apartments. 80% of Singaporeans live in apartments.
Yeah, it can feel crowded in the apartments though because it is just all apartments. But
Yeah.
I agree with what you mean is that you don't realize how many people actually live there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't know, I like Singapore. I mean, it's hot, but we've established for it as I don't really like the heat. But I would definitely visit it again.
It was hot when I was there. It was like
Well, you went there
30,
summer, so
yeah, it's summer, so it was like 33, I think.
and like a million of humidity.
No, it was dry heat. It was pretty dry, so it was fine. Whereas when I was in China, it was very hot and it was also
Really
humid. It was like 36 when I was in Tianjin. And I was like,
Ew.
whoa.
I don't like
But I was
humidity.
inside, so it was fine. But in Japan, it was freezing. I packed
really?
on a whim. I packed one pair of like long harem pants. I wore them for like half the trip. So much, and like all of Japan was so cold and was like so rainy. It was not like summer at all. But then when I went to Malaysia at the end of my trip, and it was beautiful and sunny, and reasonably humid, but it was like 30. It was 33. It was that temperature where like it's really hot
In the sun.
but you're not quite sweating. You're almost, but it's like okay because you're just kind of not quite.
Yeah.
It was like that kind of weather. And also I was on one of those tour buses, and when you sit up the top, you get a big breeze.
Oh, that's good. Well
that was fine.
played.
It was good.
Fun.
It worked out well because the tour bus had like an upstairs section that was closed. Like half of the upstairs was closed with aircon.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So
you
I
could
sat
choose.
there.
Yeah.
I sat up the top and got all the view, but in the aircon. And then when it got a bit later in the day, it got to like 4 o'clock. The temperature had dropped to like that perfect sort of 26 degrees where it was like it's warm, but it's evening, but there's wind.
Yes.
And I was sitting on the other side of the top level of the bus with no roof. And I was like, this is the life.
That's so good.
And I was like, I don't want to fly home.
What was the best thing you ate? I love
Yes.
trying new foods when I'm overseas.
Well, so I came from Tianjin, which is on the coast of China, on a trip back to Beijing, like we drove, and it was 2.5 hours. And we stopped in like this super grotty back street on the way to Beijing that was like every stereotype you can imagine of like the back streets of Asia with scorpions on sticks and like scary things. We went to this
Amazing.
like dimly lit, dingy restaurant where you think you're going to die.
But the food was the best food I've ever tasted in my life.
Oh,
they gave me all
wow.
these dishes and I was like, I'm just not going to ask what they are because it's probably
That's
safer.
probably for the best. Yeah.
So nice. But they did have a really, really nice seaweed soup,
Oh,
which I can recommend. I also had some really beautiful squid in Singapore. I'm a huge fan of squid.
Squid's always good.
And I had amazing squid and it was really yummy.
Singapore do good food, yeah. Although, weirdly, Singapore noodles are not from Singapore.
I know, like French fries aren't from France.
And like Hawaiian pizza was not invented in Hawaii, as we discovered the other week.
You would have known if you listened to the show last week.
Yeah, so there you go. We're like full of fun food facts.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. Just to trick you. But I never thought French fries were from France.
I know,
Because I've always heard them called fries or chips. Like you very rarely come across them actually being called French fries.
But fries is short for French fries.
But I didn't know that as a kid.
Oh, I did.
Just like the ghost of Wake Coast Parkway. My ignorance was absolute bliss. Oh my goodness.
That is so funny. But anyway, I am sad to be back, but I did have an amazing time. Place that I went to that I'm going to probably put it out there as being my favourite was Kuala Lumpur because I hadn't been there before.
Yeah, you've
And
definitely given lots of gold stars for Kuala Lumpur. When
I have. And it was awesome to go because I had the best time. It was so easy. It was fun. And I was by myself. And it was great because a few years ago, Kuala Lumpur was considered pretty dangerous and people weren't going. So it is like
Reputation's back up.
reputation is on the up. It
There
is
we
the time
go.
to go.
It's had the Hope tick of approval. So
It's had the
book your tickets,
solo
guys.
traveller young blonde girl tick of approval, which is always safe. Highest level of security rating. So now is the time to go.
That's a good like benchmark scale.
But you know it's true, right?
I'm young, blonde, and travelled solo, and I was fine in this city.
It's like the most dangerous thing you can possibly be. That's all right.
We're going to catch you after this, guys. This is Don't You Worry Child by Swedish House Mafia. We're going to catch you after this for the end of the show.
Sweden's not in Asia.
It's not. What's with this song, Hope? It's a great song.
I don't know.
Don't you worry. No matter where you travel, Hope, don't you worry, child.
Welcome back, Swedish House Mafia on the 3 p.m. Takeover. We are getting towards the very end of our show, which is a little bit sad, but that means what, Victoria?
Well, I think it can mean one thing and one thing only. It's time for Quote of the Week. And this week, you are Madame Quote, returned from gallivanting across the seas.
Yeah, like if you haven't heard, like I just came back from Asia.
I mean, we haven't mentioned it so far, so I'm glad we finally brought it up. But
So I mean, like I'm going to do a quote about travel because like I've just been traveling. I mean, did you know that?
What theme should I pick, says Hope?
You can tell, okay, I've never been this excited about travel. When you work 9 to 5 and you take annual leave, it is like amazing.
Luxury.
It's so weird. I feel like I've been gone for like 6 months. It's strange. It's like, you know, when you have a long weekend when you're at uni or school and it doesn't really matter, and then you have one when you're a worker and you go back to work feeling like so incredibly refreshed from that one extra day.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so this is my quote.
Lay the wisdom on us.
And it's by Anonymous.
Oh, we always love an anonymous
Always.
quote. The mystery.
Always
the intrigue.
mystery. Okay, here we go. Travel far enough, you meet yourself.
Oh, that's a bit deep.
So cryptic.
I like it.
I love it. And I don't really believe in the whole you can like find yourself through travel. I've never thought that. I think because I've always done a lot of traveling, I've never had an experience where I've come back and said, you know, travel changed my life or something. But I like that quote. I like that you can travel and you can learn more about yourself. Not find yourself.
No, you
but
definitely
learn about yourself.
I think every trip you learn more about yourself.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like I would say I'm a confident person. Would you say that?
Yes.
I'd say I'm a confident person. But I was a little bit hesitant about going to Kuala Lumpur by myself, only because it was like super crazy blacklist dangerous a few years ago. But like I nailed it.
Yeah.
I had a good time and I'm
Nice.
back in the studio.
Woo.
So points to me.
Gold stars for Hope.
Gold stars from me to me.
But weirdly, what the last few weeks has done, it's gone so quickly and it's the end of the month already.
Yes.
Which is like crazy because like blink and you missed the first half of the year.
Yeah.
But it also means that next week is the first Wednesday of a month, which means we're going to have a special.
I am so excited about this special.
It's a really good thing, guys.
Contain my excitement.
Should we tell them the theme?
We'll tell them.
We'll tell them. We'll tell you guys. Okay, guys, the theme is, I'm going to drum roll.
James Bond.
Woo! I'm so excited. Guys, we have like years and years of amazing Bond themes and Bond topics to get through. I'm a little bit excited because I'm a huge Bond fan. So
Everyone's a Bond fan.
yeah,
Everyone not like
everyone
Bond.
like grew up watching him because
Yeah.
he like spans so many generations.
Classic family movie.
Yes.
No one's disappointed when you put it on.
So get excited for that, guys. And if you have a favorite Bond theme that you think we have to play, you have to let us know. Tweet us or email us or let us know over Facebook, and we will add it into the Bond playlist.
We will.
Yeah.
But that's all from us this week. So we'll be back next week for the Bond theme, and we will be on air on Friday, 3 p.m. for the retakeover. Do not miss it. Bye.